Once upon no time there was nothing, nowhere. And then existence of a universe here. It all began in a singularity, an infinitesimally tiny point of highest density containing everything in existence. A cosmic inflation, and the universe filled with energy was present. Cosmic matrix of layers upon layers of information was in play. Mysterious changes occurred in the early universe in the very minute scales, resulting in formation of space-time. And in it, the first things. Energy developed into tiny bits of matter. The simplest, lightest atoms of hydrogen. In the then darkness of space floated a gargantuan cloud of hydrogen gas. Particles of the gas cloud started to stick together, separating it into trillions of different clouds, the centers of which were beginning to grow denser and denser. A force of attraction was active between the particles. Gravity was influencing them, drawing them closer. In time, they coalesced and turned into massive heavenly bodies. Their outer layers were being pulled in by the matter in the internal layers with tremendous gravity, building extreme pressure and temperature in the center. The structure tended to collapse. The interiors were crushed, the atoms squeezed, and the cores ignited into blisteringly hot nuclear furnaces. They were fusing multiple atoms of hydrogen as fuel, forging heavier atoms in their cores, releasing plethora of energy, glowing and broadcasting their forms light years out in space. Stars were here, and the cosmos was lit. Gigantic clouds were illuminated in starlight. Orange, red, yellow, blue, and white stars had embellished the heavens. Smaller stars cooked hydrogen for energy, and forged lighter elements like helium, carbon, oxygen, iron, and survived for trillions of years. Supermassive stars lived shorter lifespans of mere millions of years, but forged in their lives heavier elements, gold, lead, uranium, and others, producing ample energy for them to support their ginormous weights. Most of these stars drew closer together out of gravity to live in galaxies, and some were cast away into the vast intergalactic void in space to spend their lifetime in a faraway galaxy, or to wander along the galactic backdrop for eternity. Galaxies became homes to these extraordinary heavenly beings, glowing, spinning, and flaunting their entrancing persona. Highly incandescent white dwarfs illuminated the nebulae formed around them. Rapidly spinning pulsars flashed blinding jets in perfect timings like cosmic lighthouses. Binary stars danced together, holding each other with their gravity, creating ripples of gravitational waves through space-time. Societies of billions and trillions of stars in various stages of their lives made their remarkable journeys of the cosmos. Eventually, the stars used up all the available hydrogen, losing their only source of energy. Unable anymore to resist the insurmountable pressure, they collapsed in on themselves. Supernova. Explosive deaths of stars released into space the materials that made up the star, and with it, the elements they had prepared during their lifetimes. In these violent events, the stars flashed the cosmos, broadcasting their deaths for brief moments across far reaches of space. Supermassive stars eventually turned into singularities, highly compressed, ultra-dense bodies. Infinitely tiny, but yielding stupendous gravity, attracting and feeding on not just whole stars, but heat, sound, or any form of energy around them. From these stellar black holes' pull, not even light could escape. Their gravity bent and curved the space-time, so significantly that they distorted light, revealing the stars behind them. As they consumed matter, they ejected highly energetic stellar jets far out into space. Many stars that lingered too close to one of these things were slingshot in hypervelocity, and most were defeated by the extreme gravity and ultimately surrendered their fates to them. Everything in the galaxies were in revolution. What around? Mysterious things were lurking in their centers. Visibility was blurred by the bright swarm of high-velocity stars falling into supermassive black holes. Gigantic black holes had occupied the centers of galaxies and consumed a gazillion stars and many other black holes. They flashed the cosmos with their galactic jets, visible across distant horizons of space as quasars. In their paths across space, these galaxies often interacted with one another. Galactic mergers disrupted their morphologies, forming larger galaxies. Sometimes they walked away with stars from other galaxies. Other times, lost their own to them. They collided with, and even strangulated others, to their deaths. The universe had become a metropolis of clusters of galaxies making their own adventures of the cosmos. Since the very birth of the universe, mysterious forms of energy had continued to fuel the eternal expansion of space. All the galaxies were receding away from each other. But mysterious forms of matter were doing the opposite of that, scaffolding all the galaxies together. The vacuum of space was filled with clumps of invisible matter holding the galaxies, and filaments connecting everything together. The universe was a cosmic web of superclusters of galaxies thriving their lives and making their own voyages of the cosmos. despite separation since birth, and being distanced apart eternally by the expansion of space and the passage of time, they were one giant family.